They laughed at his shoes, not because they were dirty, not because they were worn out, but because they were held together with duct tape. And that day, in front of the entire class, his teacher said something that would echo in his mind for years. "Maybe college just isn't for everyone, Ethan." Ethan Carter was 14, skinny, quiet, always sitting in the back of the classroom. He wore the same faded hoodie every week. His backpack had a broken zipper, his lunch, sometimes just a peanut butter sandwich, sometimes nothing at all. His sneakers were the worst part. Old, cracked, the soles peeling off at the front. The other kids called him Discount Boy. They thought he couldn't hear them, but he heard every word. Ethan lived with his mom in a tiny one-bedroom apartment above a laundromat. His dad had left when he was 7. His mom worked double shifts at a diner, pouring coffee for strangers who barely looked at her. Even then, the bills piled up. Some nights, Ethan told her he'd already eaten at school, just so she wouldn't skip dinner again. And every morning, he walked nearly 3 miles to school, in those same taped sneakers, through snow, through rain, through stairs. But what nobody knew was that Ethan was building something. Late at night, when his mom finally fell asleep, he'd sit at the small kitchen table with a borrowed laptop from the public library. He didn't scroll social media. He didn't play video games. He studied companies in New York, startups in London, tech giants in Toronto. He watched interviews of CEOs. He wrote down ideas in a notebook labeled Future. Because Ethan didn't just want a job, he wanted ownership. He wanted freedom. He wanted to make sure his mom would never have to refill another coffee cup again. One afternoon, everything changed. It was career day. Students stood up one by one. Lawyer, professional athlete, TikTok creator. The room buzzed with excitement. Then it was Ethan's turn. He stood slowly, hands shaking. "I want to build a company," he said. The class went quiet. Then someone laughed. "With those shoes?" another voice said. Even the teacher gave a tight smile. "Ethan, maybe focus on getting into community college first." His ears burned, his hands clenched, but he didn't sit down. "One day," he said, voice steady now, "I'll come back here, and you'll invite me as the keynote speaker." The laughter doubled, but something in his eyes didn't. That night, Ethan sat on the apartment rooftop, cold wind hitting his face. For the first time in years, he doubted himself. Maybe they were right. Maybe big dreams were for kids with new shoes. Maybe CEOs didn't come from laundromats. But then the rooftop door opened. His mom stepped out, still in her diner uniform. She didn't ask why he was quiet. She just sat beside him. "They laughed?" she asked gently. He nodded. She looked at his shoes, then at him. "Good," she said. He frowned. "Good? Let them laugh now. It's cheaper than buying tickets later." He stared at her. "You don't see my shoes," she whispered. "You see my potential," he replied. "No," she smiled. "I see a leader." Years passed. Ethan graduated at the top of his class. He earned scholarships, worked part-time stocking shelves, delivered food at night, slept 4 hours a day. There were moments he felt invisible, sitting in lecture halls filled with students whose parents owned companies. But he had something they didn't: hunger. Not just for food, for change. After university, he applied for 31 jobs. Rejected, rejected, rejected. One recruiter glanced at his resume and said, "We're looking for someone more refined." That word hit harder than any insult in high school. Refined. As if success had a dress code. As if ambition required designer labels. That was the day Ethan made a decision. He stopped asking for a seat at the table. He decided to build his own. With $800 in savings and a second-hand laptop, Ethan launched a small logistics and supply chain company from his apartment. No investors, no connections, just grit. He pitched local businesses, he got ignored, he got hung up on, he got told, "Come back when you're bigger." But he kept going. Because taped shoes teach you something powerful. How to keep walking even when it hurts. 3 years later, a mid-sized retail chain gave him a chance. He delivered on time, every time. Then a larger company noticed, then another. Within 8 years, Ethan Carter became the founder and CEO of one of the fastest-growing logistics firms across North America. The same cities he once studied online now invited him to speak. New York, Chicago, Vancouver, London, and then came the email. His old high school. "Mr. Carter, we would be honored if you returned as our graduation keynote speaker." He stared at the screen and smiled. The day he arrived, a black SUV pulled up to the same cracked sidewalk he once walked as a teenager. Students lined the entrance. Teachers clapped politely. And there she was, the teacher who once told him college wasn't for everyone. "You've done very well for yourself, Ethan," she said. He nodded. "Thank you." She hesitated. "I hope you know, we always believed in you." He held her gaze, respectfully, calmly. "I believed in me too," he replied. Inside the auditorium, he stepped onto the stage. Tailored suit, polished shoes, success written all over him. But before he started speaking, he did something unexpected. He reached into his bag and pulled out an old pair of sneakers, cracked, faded, still wrapped in duct tape. Gasps filled the room. "These," he said, holding them up, "walked 3 miles every day. They walked through snow, through embarrassment, through doubt, and they never stopped." His voice grew stronger. "If people laugh at your shoes, I'll let them. If they laugh at your dreams, let them. Because success doesn't care what you're wearing. It cares how long you're willing to keep walking." Then came the twist no one saw coming. Ethan announced a fully funded scholarship for students from low-income families, for students who felt invisible, for students sitting in the back row right now. And he named it after his mother, Margaret Carter, the woman who saw a CEO before the world saw a poor kid with taped sneakers. After the event, a young boy approached him. "Sir," he said nervously, "do you really think someone like me could run a company one day?" Ethan looked down at the boy's worn-out sneakers and smiled. "I think someone like you already is," he said. "You just don't know it yet. Never measure someone by what they wear. Never confuse quiet with weakness. And never underestimate a dream that refuses to quit. Because sometimes the boy mocked for his shoes becomes the man who signs the contracts." This is ValorVerse, where underdogs don't just survive, they rise and they lead.